Hey guys! Okay, so this is my first beauty review blog, or beauty review video, which I'm doing for my blog, Sasha's Sundry, and I'll have a link for that in the description bar below, as well as links for my product that I'm talking about, sponges, etc. And today, what I am reviewing is Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. Maybe like that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. Now, you can pick this up at, obviously, you can pick it up at urbandecay.com. You can also pick it up at Ulta and Sephora. Now, it's about $40 for an ounce. It comes in 18 different shades, and the way their shading system works is if it ends in 0.0, it's warmer, more yellow-based undertones, and if it ends in 0.5, then it is a cooler, more pink undertone. The whole line comes in 18 different shades, from very, very light to about moderately dark, and the lightest is 0.5. I'm so sorry, I'm reading my notes on the side. The lightest is 0.5, and that's very fair. It's described as very fair porcelain with subtle pink undertones. Looks very much like the package says. It looks a lot like porcelain dolls. The faces of the porcelain dolls. The darkest is 12.0, which is described as dark with deep golden undertones. I should space my notes out a bit. Dark with deep golden undertones, and it really does look like a really nice chocolate ganache. Sorry, making people hungry on beauty blogs. And it comes, the formula itself is described as a demi-matte. It's about right. I don't find it it's not overly luminous. It is very sheer, but it's buildable. And it's got a lot of different ingredients in it, just to help you out, to help your skin out a bit. It has Matrixyl 3000, which is a wrinkle reducing complex. It has lifting peptides to maintain your skin's elasticity. It has, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, it has Litchiderm, which is, as the name sounds like, derived from the lychee plant, or the lychee fruit rather, and that helps to protect your skin from a lot of oxidative damage and dehydration, so it helps to combat aging of the skin. It has green tea, which neutralizes free radicals, has vitamin E, which helps to promote collagen production and replacement in your skin, and it has sodium, and I really hope I'm pronouncing this one correctly. Please leave a note if I'm not. Thank you. It has sodium hyaluronate, and basically what that does is it helps to attract water to your skin, and it aids in the absorption of nutrients and hydration so that your skin will stay hydrated. Okay, let's see here. And the one that I have is 1.0, which is described as very fair bisque with a soft, warm undertone. Now, if you're very neutral based, I'm actually quite neutral. Don't go by here, go closer to what's on the neck. I'm actually very neutral. I have pink and yellow. I have a combination of the two. I skew a little bit warmer, so usually I can get away with just using a warmer base foundation. But if you need to mix the two undertones, you can absolutely do that. I found that they mix quite well. I have another one over on my vanity. So, first thing I'm going to do is turn my music down. First thing I'm going to do is put my hair up. Obviously, you don't want to get makeup all over your hair. Probably should have done this before I started, but oops. And ignore the terrible friend that I'm growing out. Looks quite strange at the moment. Okay. Bear with me just a moment. That should stay. Okay. Okay. Probably going to take that off. Alright, so I'm going to be using a MAC Pro Blending brush, or Pro Blending Sponge. It's a lot like the Beauty Blenders, which I also have one of those as well. I really like this sponge. You can use the large side for the larger areas of the face, smaller bits for, say, in here, under the eye. Let's see here. And, okay, you guys are going to laugh at this because I don't know where to buy the actual makeup bowls. I recommend using a makeup bowl with this. PetSmart. Ended up buying a few of these for my cat. She doesn't like them, so hey, I'll sterilize them and use them as makeup bowls. Works. She may come over, the giant 15-pound monster cat, just come say hello. Okay, so I'm starting off with freshly cleansed, freshly moisturized skin. I've also put my sunscreen on because unfortunately the Urban Decay Foundation does not come with a sunscreen, and I cannot recommend enough using a sunscreen. A lot of people think, oh, I tan, I don't need to use a sunscreen. Yes, you do. It's, in fact, you know, UVA, UVB rays, they are the largest contributor to skin aging. Granted, I am extremely fair, clearly. You know, hello Casper. So I use about SPF 30 to 50. But, you know, even if you do tan, even if you are olive complected, or darker complected, you still need to invest in a good sunscreen. And you need to remember to use it every single day if you're going to go out in the sun. Okay, so off my soapbox about sunscreen. Freshly moisturized, freshly cleansed skin. And what I'm going to do is take a pump of the Urban Decay. I'm going to put it about in the center. And give it another pump just in case. Okay. Got that. And what I like to do with my beauty blending sponges, it's just called a beauty blender, what I like to do with them is I like to use them slightly damp. Just feel like it helps so they don't absorb a whole ton of your foundation without getting it on your skin. Because, hey, $40, it's not an incredibly cheap thing. It's even your drugstore foundation, you still, you know, you don't want to waste it. I also feel like it helps it move around on the skin a little bit better. So what I'm going to use, and I use this, or I use just typically regular rose water. I use another one, I can't think of the name off the top of my head. It's NAPC water, something like that. It's basically a nutrient that we have in our skins to begin with. And I use that as well. It's just up to you. You can use orange water, you can use whatever you want to use. This is just rose water and glycerin. There we go. Go in focus. Sort of. Get off my face and go in focus. Oh, there we go. Rose water and glycerin. And it's from Heritage Products. So I'm just going to do the bag. 2 sprays. And what I'm doing, so I should do this for the camera, sorry, is there's the foundation. I've picked up some. Oh, my sponge might be a little bit much on that sponge, but we'll see. Now, to point out, I do have some blemishes which are thankfully healing, including on my nose. That one right there. It's actually not even a blemish anymore. Well, I guess it is, but yeah, I've got some blemishes, particularly on my chin. This was due to trial of Bliss Clog Dissolving Milk Cleanser, something along those lines, and that I did a review for, and that's actually my first review that was on the blog. Again, link below. And so I'm still sort of recovering from that. Okay. What I'm going to do is take the Naked Skin and just sort of... I kind of dot it on first just to get the product on the skin and work in sections. And what I'm kind of doing, I don't know if you can tell, sort of doing this number. Obviously it's very sheer, it's not a complete coverage. I'll get to that. Take a little bit more product. Okay, and actually, as you can see, I sort of get it on the main part of the cheeks and then move up to the cheekbone. And the reason I do that is just because, as you can see, it's very large, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish this area with the tip. Okay. You can use this with a setting powder and a primer if you want to. I'm not at the moment. Well, I'm dealing with some dry and flakies at the moment, so I really don't want to use a powder to just really draw focus to that. That's actually going to be my next, not video, probably, but my next blog entry is probably going to be about a homemade face mask that I did the other night, and it's helped, but bad blogger, I forgot to take photos. So, well, I'm going to do it again, so we'll see. And actually, I am running out of a bit of product here, so I'm going to give it one more pump. Okay. And it doesn't come with a brush, but they have a optical blurring brush that I actually do own, but unfortunately I'm not using it today because it is actually still wet from having washed it. I thought it would dry in time, but it did not. So we're using the sponge. You can even use your fingers with this. It blends very, very well. It's actually, you can see the little bit dry and flakies I'm dealing with. Unfortunately, it's sort of a secondary thing to the reaction to that particular cleanser that I had, because I had to use retinol to calm down the reaction, the breakouts, which actually it's doing really well. This one's finally healing. Those are finally healing. That's finally healing. But unfortunately, even using a great moisturizer, it still tends to make me go a bit flaky. But I'd rather be a bit flaky than a bit, well, red all over. Okay. Now, I'm going to switch over to the tip to actually blend that out across the nose. Alright. I don't actually need the 3 pumps, and in fact when you're using the brush, I found that using the brush you need less product than the sponge. But using the sponge, I need a bit more than 2 pumps. Okay, so I'm going to use the tip to come back over these little problem areas that I've got going on here. Lovely. Which, excuse me, I don't normally do this with a camera, so my application might be a bit wanting. But I'm going to come back and just sort of dab a teeny bit of more product. I have foundation on my lips, I can see it. Teeny bit more product over these little problem areas. Just sort of stippling, and I'm not using a whole lot of product. I'm just sort of picking up the residue off the bowl. I'm not even going into the little bits on the side. Just sort of using a bit of leftover. And just try to blur those out just a little bit. Obviously, if you're looking for a full coverage foundation, this is not going to be for you. But I prefer it because I feel like it doesn't settle into any lines. I have a few over here. It doesn't settle into any lines. It doesn't settle into your pores, which is a big thing with me because I have kind of enlarged pores across my nose, especially on the sides. And yeah, I didn't take care of my skin at all. At all when I was a kid. I really didn't get into skincare products and regimens until, God, college. Well, about high school, I'd say. Towards the end of high school. You know, sleeping in makeup, etc. It's really, really bad for your skin. Don't do it. Don't. I don't care how lazy you feel. Really. Actually, I keep these by my bed, or on my bed as it happens at the moment. Aveeno Ultra Calming. And they're makeup removing wipes. They're great. So if you're feeling, go get some. Because if you're feeling lazy, like I don't want to take my makeup off, it's such a pain, I'm tired, I just want to go to bed, you have no excuse if you keep those by your bed. Which is the whole reason why I do it, because I admit it, I'm lazy. As you can see, it is sort of blurring out those little areas. Put a little bit over there. There we go. And that little guy on my nose is actually pretty covered. It's right there. Let me put a little dot. There. Okay, so as you can see, it's got a much more uniform look, and that's actually what you're going for. By the way, if you're going to go and do a foundation match, and they do it at MAC, they do it at Sephora, a lot of times they try to match you with what you've got going on here. That's not the object of using your foundation. When you use a foundation, you're using it to, and actually because I have the dry and flakies, I really probably should have used a primer, but the object is to create a more uniform picture. And when you're very, very fair, a lot of times you'll carry a lot of ruddiness in your face. So if you go matching off of that, you'll end up, and it's happened to me time and time again, you'll end up getting matched with something that's very, very, very pink, and you get that strange head doesn't belong to the body look. It's not a good look. Nobody wants to look like, you know, they've taken off a Barbie head and stuck it on the wrong Barbie body. I can't have been the only one that did that as a kid. Don't judge me. Okay, so that's it. Naked Skin Foundation. It wears very, very well. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Again, you can find descriptions, or you can find links in the description bar. 22 minutes. That was a bit long for a makeup review, but I will get better if I make any more of these. Bye.